Here I am. Welcome everybody back to Walking in Spirit and Truth. You know, it's been a full week, and yeah, we're coming back to another round of the Book of Enoch. We're still going through all of the adventures of Enoch, and in this, we're going to get there. Because we are going to go into some of the vision of Noah. So, considering that this week is the study of Noah going on, and here we have, with the same timing of the study of Noah, we've got Enoch having a discussion with Noah, and it's pretty cool. So anyway, it's great to be with you again on this Tuesday evening for a live Walking in Spirit and Truth. Just for anybody that's joining us right now and you're like, who is this guy? And you're picking up on the lambnetwork.tv, or you're picking it up on Twitch, or you're happen to get it on the Life of Worship Ministries YouTube channel. And if you're catching any one of those places, my name is John Craig. My wife and I pastor Life of Worship here in Amarillo, Texas, and we're having good times and exciting times. It's great to be right in the mix of what y'all is doing in the earth. And that's what I believe that we're doing. And I think that's why this whole study of Enoch has actually been really timely. And I think one of the things I was talking about in Shabbat is how there's such a dichotomy, such a difference, like a strong, it's not just like a gray line, but a real defined line, or even a gap, or like a chasm between those who are of the Kedoshim, the righteous, and the ones that are of, I don't know if you want to say, not everybody is the bride, but there's a distinction between Yah's people and the people that are not. And that distinction is very, very clear. And those lines are becoming more and more clear among the people in the earth. I mean, just of all the different things. I don't know if you've seen anything, but I do check out how the cultural things are happening in different countries, whether it's Great Britain or it's here in the United States. Those are the two places where I see other stuff happening in France and Germany and Spain. It's actually all over the place. Other nations, I'm sure, are not exempt, but the violence that's in the streets, I mean, just the sheer fact that people are coming up and they're threatening people and they're beating people. And then we see it's like vigilantes that come out of nowhere, and when there's an attacker beating somebody, like beating a woman, then here out of nowhere has some type of vigilante, some type of hero, and comes on the scene and takes that attacker and literally just, devastates them. It's amazing that I've never seen videos as much as, and in frequency as we're seeing now. And really, it really goes to show in the day and the hour and the times that we're living in. Wow. So when we're riding through this adventure with Enoch, I mean, it's like, put on your seatbelts and hold tight, because he's telling us what this day and this hour is all like. And so it's very, very, very interesting. Life of Worship Ministries is here in Amarillo, Texas. If you're ever in the area, come by and check us out. You can always stay in tune with us and what's going on with us at Life of Worship by checking out our Facebook page, which is Life of Worship. And by the way, we have it as private, but if you want to join that group on Facebook, just go in there and say, hey, I want to be part, and we'll let you in. We do a little bit of screening, because I think it's really important. One of the things that I have noticed in social media is how people like just to get into controversial just discussions, and it just gets, some of it gets bad. So we're kind of like, we want people to be part of our Facebook. And that's where you get the announcements. That's where we post our announcement about what's going on, what's the next event, where we're meeting, and all that fun stuff. And so stay tuned there, and we'll post it there. And because that's the easiest place to update for us. We also have the International House of Prayer Amarillo, and that's open Facebook page, and you can go there. We'll set the same announcements there as well. On top of that, we certainly appreciate your financial support. without your financial support, we're not able to do the things that we're doing. And we want to certainly do more. And one of the things that we are currently needing to do is build up our coffers so we can put towards a new place. And so they're like, well, you have a new place yet? No, we don't. We got to still work through the exact location where the Father wants us. And then, of course, there's the leasing and the deposits and the setting up the utilities and all of that, as well as, the replacement of equipment. We were noticing that a lot of our equipment is going out on us. So anyway, your faithful financial support, your tithes, your offerings, go to good purposes and good use. And by the way, I'm bivocational. I work to support my own family. So the monies that come in go to supporting the ministry. And that's what we do with it. Yeah, how do you do that? How do you give to this ministry? Well, go to the Life of Worship Amarillo.org website, and there's a tab, and it says donate. And when you click that tab, it'll open up a screen that on there says donate. Click here, and it takes you over to our PayPal, and you can give online to PayPal, or you can find our mailing address online there and mail a gift directly to our mailbox if you prefer to go that route. So there we go. That's where we are. And I love to see everybody that showed up there with me today over here. And don't forget, by the way, thumbs up and like and share and subscribe and all that goodness. And y'all ready to get into it? Enoch, this exciting adventure. Enoch, where did we leave off? We left off, I think we pretty much finished up chapter 61 in Enoch. So if you're following along and you're reading with me, whether you're using a King James Apocrypha version, or you've got the Sefer version like I'm reading, or you've got maybe something else online, and go ahead and go to chapter 62. Yeah, I know, Lou, we're missing Al. Anybody know where Al's at? And Bob, where's Bob? Come on, Bob. So Bob will probably catch us in the archives. And all right, so go to chapter 62. And remember last week, one of the things that we were talking about is a phrase or a name was added, which I don't think we had seen in Enoch very frequently or even at all until chapter 61. And that was the name of son of Adam. Son of Adam. Well, who is this son of Adam? Specifically, and from what I believe and what I understand, that's Yeshua, the Messiah, the son of Adam. He is sitting on his throne. He is sitting on his throne of glory. And we also see in there that interchanging of the son of Adam with the name Yahweh Tsabaoth. And so the two go together because the two are one. And so I think that's really interesting because multiple times in that chapter, son of Adam is used, very important, but he rises up and pronounces judgment over all the elect. Not all the elect, but of all the kings, the princes, the exalted, and those who rule over the earth. And they have this last minute, too late repentance. And, they're like, oh, we worship you. Oh, we're so sorry. We confess our sins before you. And it's like, yeah, you had time. And you're going to face judgment. Now, here's something that's very interesting because I think it is part of a facing the judgment that is upon them pre-Noah. So we're talking about the kings, the princes, the exalted, and those who rule over the earth pre-Noah. But there is but when it brings up the son of Adam, when you take that with how Paul connects the son of Adam, you can connect the dots with the last Adam, which would be Yeshua the Messiah. Then we can take this and jump forward over into the book of Revelation, and we see some definite connections prior to the flood, and which as Yeshua talked about, as in the days of Noah, so shall coming of the Son of Man be? Well, the Son of Man was on the earth when Yeshua said that, but he was talking about his next coming. And then with his next coming, then we have an illusion about another set of kings, of princes, and exalted, and those who rule over the earth. So those that were pre-flood come under judgment, and again they were picked up, and they were taken by the angels of judgment, and they were or the angels of his wrath, and they were removed. And in fact, that's where we're at in chapter 62. So let's go to chapter 62 and start there. And this is, in those days, the kings who possess the earth. Now think about this. In those days, what's that referring to? I mean, oftentimes in those days, it make it sound like as if, all right, in the coming days, that as Enoch is telling the story, that these will come under judgment. But in those days, and you can also say in that day, is often a reference, because I don't have I don't have the Hebrew translation or the Aramaic translation here in the book of Enoch that this would have been printed from, and I don't have the ability to go back and actually look. I wish I did. You actually go back and look and say, in those days, could it also be in that day? I would like to know. Is it a difference? Is it distinctly different? But maybe there's a relationship. Maybe they're congruent. So let's kind of keep going along with that thought process. And that the kings in those days, the kings who possess the earth shall be punished by the angels of his wrath, wheresoever they shall be delivered up, that he may give rest for a short period, and that they may fall down and worship before Yahweh Tzebaoth, confessing their sins before him. They shall bless and glorify Yahweh Tzebaoth. And here's what they say. I mean, don't you think anybody that's in trouble, they're going to change their tune? I think that's true. They're going to change their tune. And this is what they say. They change their tune. They shall bless and glorify Yahweh Tzebaoth, saying, blessed is Yahweh Tzebaoth, Yahweh of kings, Yahweh of princes, Yahweh of the rich, Yahweh of the glory, and Yahweh of wisdom. He shall enlighten every secret thing. Your power is from generation to generation, and your glory forever and ever. Deep are all your secrets, and numberless, and your righteousness cannot be calculated. And that is, this is their confession as the angels of wrath have come to gather them up. It's like, what else can we say? What else can we say? Because here, why do you say that? Because going in verse 6 in chapter 62, now we know that we should glorify and bless Yahweh of kings, Yahweh of kings, him who is king over all things. So they're like, yeah, we know now. We missed out. We messed up. Should have done better. And there's a certain point. It's too late. It's just too. And I think we got elections coming up. We are about ready to either continue in office or put different people into office here in the United States. And we think about those who sit in position. And in the United States, there actually should be representatives of us. In other words, they are our servants to do our bidding, because we, the people, are the government of the United States. But, things have been flip-flopped. If you haven't been watching, they sure have. They put edicts on us. They put upon us the things that are against us and do not benefit us and hurt us, like doing all sorts of things that cause inflation, like money printing, and ultimately that's a hidden tax. They're evil people, because when the money supply increases, then the value of each individual dollar also diminishes, and that means we have less buying power, because it gets watered down, and that's a tax. That is a tax upon us, because then it takes more of those things to pay our electric bill. Anybody having big electric bills? Anybody have a, like in the, well, I'll tell you what, the gas prices have dropped. Isn't it interesting? Gas prices have dropped before the election. At least they are here in Amarillo. I've seen them as low as $2.42 a gallon. Other places are $2.52. So that's nice, because I think in other parts of the country, you guys are still paying $4 or $5 a gallon, right? Yeah. But going on, it's because the kings of the earth are trying to demoralize and destroy the buying power, the ability to fight back through financial means, people like you and I. So, and so here, these guys are recognizing, yeah. So we've done a lot of evil things, and now it's too late. But they recognize, when you stand before the King of Glory, the only thing that you can confess is how great He is, right? So let's go on here, and it says, they shall also say, who has granted us rest to glorify, laud, bless, and confess in the presence of His glory? And now small is the rest we desire, but we do not find. We reject and do not possess. Light has passed away from before us, and darkness our thrones forever. For we have not confessed before Him. We have not glorified the name of Yahweh of kings. We have not glorified Yahweh in all his works, but we have trusted in the scepter of our dominion and of our glory. Oh, I mean, that's pretty crazy, isn't it? And that's what the elite do today. They trust in the scepter of their dominion. It's about dominion over us. It's about the strength of their scepter. And remember when we read about the scales which to see if our kavod is weighty enough. In other words, the glory, the weight of the glory that we give to the Most High. And I bet you, their scales are pretty light, looking at the scales themselves. I mean, there are my hands. Yeah. Disappear, come back. Yeah, there they go. Okay. All right. So the scales, they're very light. There's nothing to weigh. In verse 10, in the day of our suffering and of our trouble, He will not save us. Neither shall we find rest. We confess that our Adonai is faithful in all His works, in all His judgments, and in His righteousness. And in His judgments, He pays no respect to persons, and we must depart from His presence on account of our deeds. Yeah, I am glitching because it is my background. Okay, no, going on. All right, squirrel. Can't follow that squirrel. All our sins, verse 12, are truly without number. Then shall they say to themselves, our souls are satiated with the instruments of crime. Wow. They shall say to themselves, our souls are satiated with the instruments of crime. But that prevents us from descending to the flaming womb of verse 14. But that prevents us not from descending to the flaming womb of Sheol. Well, that's pretty descriptive, isn't it? And the very thing, our souls are satiated. I mean, that just kind of the strength of that word, our souls are satiated with the instruments of our crime. In other words, everything that they think and they do, they're so satiated with the instruments of their crime, with their wrongdoings, that there's no good in them. I mean, that's pretty extreme. And then I think, what did I see? I saw a commercial. I saw this commercial for one of those Sunday, I think it was CBS Sunday Morning. Have you seen the recent one? CBS Sunday Morning? I don't know if it's something that they repeat often. I saw it probably for the first time just the other day. And what did it show? It showed all of these celebrities. I mean, all sorts of different celebrities. I mean, the big time celebrities, But there was one thing that they all had in common. These were all anti-Trump people. Yeah, I said it. I mean, they're like, it's so the glitzy, the glamorous, they're so full of life, and they're the ones that we go and watch on the big screen, and they're the ones that have lit up our lives and entertained us, and and these are the ones, the glamorous that's CBS Sunday Morning puts on there, and the thing that I just thought of is like, it is so fake. Look what they're putting in front of. This is so fake. They're really not a great people. And you know what I noticed as well? These are all the ones that they were showing on the screen that have these relationships with Sean Combs. Sean Combs. You know who Sean Combs is? P. Diddy. You know, the one who is the Jeffrey Epstein of the entertainment sector. This included people like Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. These are all the ones that are all part of that glamour. CBS Sunday Mornings. Oh, don't we want to watch that? Oh, sorry for my little, but I'm just trying to say, these are the ones that are satiated with their instruments of crime. In my opinion, there's no good in them. There's no place, because they're so saturated with the evil, with the wickedness. And I think about, that's why I see there's such a parallel between that which was before Noah and this time. And so it says, but that prevents us not from descending to the flames of the womb of Sheol. All that glamour, all that glitz, it's actually just a facade. It's a mask that prevents them not from descending to the flaming womb of Sheol. Verse 15, afterwards, their countenance shall be filled with darkness and confusion before the son of Adam, from whose presence they shall be expelled, and before whom the sword shall remain to expel them. Thus says Yahweh Tsabaoth, this is the decree and the judgment against the princes, the kings, and the exalted, and those who possess the earth in the presence of Yahweh Tsabaoth. Isn't that true? That's where they're at. That's what's happening. And though it seems just like the very fact that, surely there might be some good in them. Maybe there's something left, and I don't think there is. I mean, not that I want to say, I'm not putting myself in the place of judgment, but when we look at just the sheer ugly vitriol, when they speak of as against people like you and I, because why? Because we just want goodness. We want the restoration of things that so that we can watch over our families, protect our families, feed our families, take care of the things that we need to take care of. And then it's not siphoned away by these talking heads who all have come out to support an evil regime, a regime that has declared martial law. They have put it into their own presidential presidential edicts, those presidential y'all help me out with that, where they're putting it in writing that the military can use lethal force against Americans just like you and I, right? So yeah, and they're saying, oh, watch out, look at all these people, the people that support life, people that support the opposition to them. They're declaring that we are the ones that are the wicked ones. They're declaring that we are the ones that are going to be creating the violence. And I just think, guys, I'm just thinking that with everything, we're really set up for a lot of false flags, a lot of blame coming against those like you and I that may be not voting for the woman who is running for office. And because of not because she's a woman, it's because of who she is. Yeah, executive orders. Thank you, Joe. I know that. because I got my mind on a different track. Okay, that's my excuse. I'm now holding to that. All right, so going on. I don't want. I'm just trying to draw some parallels. I'm drawing some connections because they don't realize what they are facing, and as clear as it is before, because these are standing before the throne of judgment. Well, the throne of judgment is at the time of the return of Yeshua the Messiah, at the great white throne judgment. So that's why I'm saying what we see here is like a flash forward to that which is to be. Chapter 63. Look at that. This is a short one. I saw also other countenances in the secret place. In that secret place, I heard the voice of an angel saying, "These are the angels who have descended." I'm like those announcers in the king's court. "These are the angels who have descended from heaven to earth and have revealed secrets to the sons of men and have seduced the sons of men to the commission of sin." Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so so this pronouncement by this angels, and who are the angels, the fallen angels who came, and they were supposed to watch over mankind and also help mankind as well. I think Yahweh is in intention after Adam and Mrs. Adam left the garden was to help them, right? To help them go through the process, to help them get to be able to figure out how to do things that they didn't have to do in the garden. And the watchers came down, and we know the story. You know how they took advantage. They took advantage of the people. They took advantage of men and women, and they produced offspring. And we've gone through all of that, which are the giants. But also the seduction of the sons of men is what it says. It says they revealed secrets to the sons of men and have seduced the sons of men to the commission of sin. And what's that about? It's about they seduce men to turn away, mankind, to turn away from the Most High, to turn away from righteousness, and which is, kind of tells us about going into Noah. But not only that, is that teaching, revealing the secrets. Now we're talking about what secrets? These dark secrets, the occult secrets. It's the secrets that when people get on DMT and they, because that is that chemical that's released in the brain that people take. It's the same chemical that when someone dies, it's released, that opens their eyes to the realm beyond this natural realm, the physical realm, and they see into the spiritual realm. And this is what people do. In fact, over in Silicon Valley, in the tech worlds, it has become known. It's not only them, but other people take DMT so that they can cross over, like the engineers, the software engineers, those that are needing an edge, and so they cross over using DMT. And there's another drug that they use to get there. And in that state, they go into the spiritual realm. And they describe that spiritual realm as a realm where it is like they come to the edge of a forest of trees. And behind the trees are lurking these other entities. And their goal is to connect with these other entities in order to obtain knowledge that they are unable to obtain in this realm. I mean, never think about why technology has advanced so rapidly, especially over the last 50 years, maybe since World War II, and even more recently, even the more recent years. I mean, anybody notice how they brought down a tubular rocket? Elon Musk, in his space corporation, bringing back down, and it was a tubular rocket, not one with a rocket or some type of flying machine coming down that has has some type of wings on or anything like that. But this is a tubular rocket, like the cylinders of those intercontinental ballistic missiles or those satellite launchers that we all saw growing up, where you 3-stage rockets, and at the top was the satellite, and then the boosters would break off, and then they would fall to Earth with a parachute, and then they would go recover those. Well, this thing brought itself down right to the place of a tall tower that grabbed it. I mean, what an amazing technology is that? I mean, that's crazy. But what gives such technological advancements? I mean, where do you get that knowledge? I mean, you can do it with a group of silence, collaborating and putting together pieces and learning from mistakes and all that type of thing. Yes. But what about the anti-gravity type of ships that we're not even, that's the top secret stuff that we're not allowed to know about? And yet those are the so-called UFOs and the aliens that are among us. And I just think it's high tech. You might call it alien technology. I think it's high tech fallen angel technology that's been given to man once again. Because I think as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man. So these secrets, but those are just technological secrets. I really think things were pretty, it makes me think how advanced it was prior to the flood of Noah. It really does. And I don't know if Elon takes DMT, but that guy's really smart. I mean, that guy, he may be socially awkward, but that guy is really smart when he can manage these major, very successful corporations like X and then whatever they call his space corporation, and then Tesla. And I don't know what other type of things he's into as well, but those are major corporations, and he is involved in them. And so, I don't know even when he sleeps, honestly. But nevertheless, these could be part of the revealed secrets of the Son of Man. But I really think that a lot of it has to do with the occult, the occult, the dark arts, the getting knowledge from where, because this is where their sin, the greatest sin is where you get knowledge of the supernatural and even able to invoke supernatural type of miracles without the working in cahoots or working with the Most High, like the gifts of the Spirit and that type of thing. It is so these are those dark arts that they're involved with. It is the occult magic. You can throw it into all these different realms. We'll call it whatever you want: witchcraft, wizardry, dark arts, whatever it is. It is it's evil and it's wrong because the source is wrong, and the conjuring up of spirits to do their bidding. But let me tell you this: and even with the DMT encounters that they're having, it comes with a price. It's never free, because it is in exchange for their soul. There is a payoff. There's a day and time that the debtor or the debt collector is going to come and is going to come after them. So, I think one of the things about Elon Musk is watch what he's doing. And what he is doing is that he is full on board doing things for good. Why? Well, because these evil Satanists took his son and his own child, and is to transform him, to transgender him, and he's not happy about that, and he's not happy with the very fact that his own brother, took that jab, and when he took that jab, it almost killed him. And I think those two specific events awakened Elon Musk, and he is. And if you look what he's doing, he also is working on an AI that is supposed to be totally non-biased, and he's doing it. And I'd like to subscribe to it. You can. It's called Grok, Grok, and it's part of X. And but you have to subscribe to it. But it's supposed to be really good without all those evil influences. And so, those leftist communistic biases. So, all right, let's go on to the next thing. But I really think that he's doing good. Honestly, I really do. And I'll say he's no longer doing good when he, when his deeds change. But his deeds are exceptional right now. They really are. There's been a transformational process. Just like, because a lot of people want to still judge. Well, I don't trust him at all. Well, what were you like? What was I like before I was saved? Could you trust me? And well, he's got such a high position. Wait a minute. Let's think about it. How many people have been transformed by the Spirit of the living God? They're not who they used to be. I think, AI can be horrible. But on the other side, remember, here's an example. I think it can be used for good. And why do I say that? Because when television came, it was first radio, and then it was television and other realms of media. How many Christians said, "Oh, that's evil," and would not get involved? And so who got involved? It was the evil people. And now when you look at the mainstream type of entertainment and all of that, how deep and dark and sinister and evil it's become, because good people stayed out, believers stayed out of those realms and then capture it. And they were late to the party, so to speak. And then they started using the media and that TV stations and other cable networks and that type of thing in order to have Christian programming and believers type of programming, and even the internet as well. It's just slow. What would happen if we were part of the influence on artificial intelligence? Now, don't get me wrong with the fact that artificial intelligence, as Steve Quayle talks about, how demonic influence has a way of getting into it, and then the next thing you know, we're going down the 1984 hole, right? So so much to think about. Awesome thoughts. Yeah, evil wasn't as prevalent back then, but it's still evil nevertheless. I mean, in other words, would you say that the chasm was not so great back then? It is today. The chasm is really big today. Terrestrial radio. I don't even listen to terrestrial radio anymore. I don't. Very rare. On occasion, when I don't have data, a connection, and it's poor, then I'll turn on the radio, see if there's anything worth listening to. But I can't stand the commercials. Just can't. All right, let's go to chapter 64 of Noah. It's the vision of Noah, or more specifically, vision of Noah. All right. Yeah, that's an interesting point that you made, Joe. A gun can be used for evil, but it also can be used for good, right? A gun can be used to defend. It can be used for food. It can be used for sport. It can be used for a lot of things, but it can be used for evil as well. So, yeah, I think so. I guess it's so to speak, who's behind the AI or who's behind the gun, and you always hope it's a good guy, right? So, in those days, there's that phrase again. Hey, Daniel, I see you checking in there. It's great to see you. In those days, Noah saw that the earth became inclined and that the destruction approached. This is really interesting because I'd like to know what that Hebrew word is, or maybe even in the Aramaic word for it, because it gives you this idea of seeing, Re'ah, the idea to see, like the Torah portion, Re'ah. What did Moses see? What did Moses see when he went up on that mountain? What did Moses see that was beyond his visual sight? And what did he see beyond into or look forward to in terms of, well, he had the present and then the future and then the far future when he looked into our day. And so in those days, Noah saw, I think the word may be Re'ah, and that the earth became inclined and that the destruction approached. So is he seeing the destruction approach, or is he seeing with his visual eyes signs of destruction that seem to be escalating? I think it could be both, maybe. And then he lifted up his feet and he went to the ends of the earth, to the dwelling of his great-grandfather Enoch. Here we go. So here comes Noah. And so now we're kind of getting a perspective in the book of Enoch of Noah, who seems to be coming to a place of realization, an awakening, so to speak, right? Not woke, but awakening, because things around him are changing rapidly. As in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So isn't that what we're looking at right now? And so he goes to his great-grandfather Enoch, and Noah cried with a bitter voice. He said, "Hear me." That doesn't sound like a bitter voice. Hear me, hear me. Okay, I don't know. I bet you Noah did it better than what I need to practice my dramatic voice of hear me. He said it 3 times, and he said, "Tell me what is transacting upon the earth." So obviously for the earth labors and is violently shaken. Surely I shall perish with it. I mean, there's okay. What did Yeshua warn us about? Earthquakes, increase of earthquakes in the world, and a very good bit of. Thank you, Linda. Okay, but violent shaking, increase of earthquakes. We have that, and then, of course, I do default a lot of times to the planet 7X phenomena that we have all been looking at and looking towards as there have been other passings on the earth, passings at the time of Noah, passing during the time of the Exodus, with the different plagues that took place and the darkness and elements that brought fear to the people of Egypt. And then I think about what was it that during the time of Jonah, right? Jonah was told to give a warning of impending judgment upon the people of Nineveh, and one of the things is that in the last 40 days before the passing or the crossing of this 7X planet, this planet X, whatever it might be, is that you can look up in the sky and see it. And when it happens, and it was found in a number of different ancient writings and tablets, speaking about a day of just great destruction that came upon the earth, and it was recorded. And what is it? There were things that are happening in the earth in that day that they recorded, and they wrote those things down for those that are in the future, that the time will come, it'll happen again. And what's happening in our solar system right now. I mean, I was mentioning it this last week, and I had it on one of my websites. I had it pulled up and saved, and I don't know if I saved it over to my ex, but one of the things is talking about like what's happening in the collapse. It was Pluto. I think I said Neptune last week, but it was the collapse of the atmosphere in Pluto, as well as the collapse of the atmosphere in Venus. They're watching it in real time. Earthquakes on Mars. They're watching some type of shifting going on in Neptune. They're watching the storm collapse in Jupiter, the big Jupiter. They're watching why are all these planets at the same time? And we're stepping up at the same time on our planet Earth. And because it seems that there are things on the earth that are taking place. And so we need to be paying attention and we need to be watching. And yeah, that's the same as Nibiru, Daniel. It's exactly right. And violent shaking, the earth laboring. He even says that the earth is inclined. Is this when the earth tilted? Did he notice a tilt then? Maybe the earth tilted right here when Noah is having this vision, or he's seeing the earth tilt. But anyways, he's disturbed. He goes to see his great grandfather, and he's crying out about it. He's like, "You got it. You got to hear my voice. I don't understand. I need wisdom." After this, there was a great perturbation on earth, and a voice was heard from heaven. I fell down on my face when my great grandfather Enoch came and stood by me. So what did he hear? Well, perturbation. Perturbation. I looked it up. It means this: the state of being perturbed. Don't you like it when they use the same word in the definition? Don't do that. Okay, it's the state of being of agitation. It's also a small change in the physical system, such as a variation in a planet's orbit resulting from the gravitational influence of other celestial bodies. So you might think, how the moon has a pull on the earth and affects our tides. Well, what about this definition where it's a disturbance of motion or course? Motion or course. So what was going on with the earth at this time? Is there a disturbance in its regular movement, in the regular movement of an object? Is there something happening that is that creating this anxiety of uneasiness? Yeah, I think it's all related to what this perturbation is. And this is what, it's disturbing Noah quite a bit. And so it goes on, he said to me, so Hanuk comes and he stands by Noah, and he said to me, why have you cried out to me with a bitter cry and lamentation? A commandment's gone forth from Yahweh against those who dwell on the earth, that they may be destroyed. For they know every secret of the angels, every oppressive and secret power of the devils, and every power of those who commit sorcery, as well as of those who make molten in the whole earth. So thinking about that, that's what we just talked about earlier. This is why these getting supernatural knowledge, wisdom, using the dark arts without going to the Most High to obtain these things, and so their sourcing is wrong, and it's evil, and sorcery. I wonder if that has a direct connection. Their source is wrong. So it's sorcery. How is silver produced from the dust of the earth, and how on earth does the drop exist? For lead and tin are not produced from earth as the primary fountain of their production. There is an angel standing upon it, and that angel struggles to prevail. Afterwards, my great grandfather Enoch seized me with his hand, raising me up and saying to me, go, for I have asked Yahweh Tsabaoth, respecting this perturbation of the earth, who replied, on account of their impiety, have their innumerable judgments been consummated before me. In other words, when the great shaking is coming, it means that the innumerable judgments have started. So what happened then happens now. Because of the sorceries which they have searched out and learned, the earth and those who dwell upon it will be destroyed. That to these there will be no refuge forever. They remember what we read back in 62. No refuge, no peace, no rest. Verse 10, they have discovered secret things. Those who have been judged, but not you, my son. Yahweh Tsabaoth knows that you are pure and good from the reproach of secrets. We're talking about those evil secrets, right? He, the Holy One, will establish your name in the midst of the Kedoshim and will guard you from those who dwell upon the earth. And he will establish your seed in righteousness for kings and for great glory. And from your seed shall spring forth righteousness and holy men without number forever. I think now we're alluding now to Genesis chapter 6 and some of the covenant that's being made with Noah about what is going to happen from springing forth from his seed, from his loins, from his family. And these are the promises given to him. And going on to chapter 65. Now this is very interesting because now it's in the first person. It says, after this, he showed me the angels of punishment. Who's the he and who's the me? Well, I think that we're talking about the Most High, showing Noah, who is the me, and he, Yahweh, showed me, Noah, the angels of punishment, who were prepared to come and to open all the mighty waters under the earth, that they may be for judgment and for the destruction of all those who remain and dwell upon the earth. And Yahweh Sabaoth commanded the angels who went forth not to take up and guard the men, for those angels are over all the mighty waters. Then I, Noah, I went out from the presence of Enoch. So there you go. It's very interesting because he brings in several different things. He's talking about the manifestation that we see in Matthew chapter 24 of different things going on in the earth. I mean, these are geological types of things in the earth, and what this is speaking of, and the speakings are about the things to come, which is the judgment, is that the judgment has started. And that's where we can go back over into the book of Revelation, and we see the breaking open of the seals, and we see the great earthquake that takes place. I think it's Revelation chapter 6. We see different things within the elements of our solar system where the sun scorches the earth. We see that living things are dying, that we see great turmoil going on in mankind as these events begin to break loose on the earth. And these are the consummation or the beginnings of judgment and the destruction of all those who remain and dwell upon the earth. And except for those who are like Noah, who seek refuge, who call upon the name of Yahweh Sabaoth. And these are the ones like you and I that call upon his name. Joel says it this way: those who call upon the name of Yahweh shall be saved. That word, saved, healed, made whole, delivered. These are the ones that will ride through the storms. And as we know, these mighty waters that are released from the earth. So then I went out from the presence of Yahweh. In those days, chapter 66, the word of Elohim came to me and said, Noah, behold, your lot is ascended up to me, a lot void of crime, a lot beloved and upright. And we're going to leave it there for now because, let me throw it in real quick. Okay. Now, then, verse 2, chapter 66, the angels are making a wooden structure. But when they proceed to this, I will put my hand upon it and guard it. The seed of life shall arise from it, and a change shall take place, that the dry land shall not be left empty. I will establish your seed before me forever and ever. And so it goes on from there. We're going to go back into that in this next week, but that's just kind of a little hint of what's happening on. The storm comes, the building of the ark. And that's why I said on Shavuot that the building of the ark, isn't it interesting that the angels were involved? Interesting. Is this part of the vision of Noah? Is this something that's being shown? All these different connections. So, well, I hope you've enjoyed today in Walking in Spirit and Truth. It's time's up. We got to wait till next week to move on. So, all right. Give us a thumbs up as you go out. Visit us at our website and continue praying for this ministry. Be a partner with us, prayer, financially, all that. We love you guys. Till next time. Shalom.
If you missed today's show or want to watch it again or want to tell someone where they can watch this episode, go to lambnetwork.tv where you will find this show and all the other live Lamb Show archives in the on-demand section of the website. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to tell someone about the Messianic Lamb Network. We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussions, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the lambnetwork.tv website. I'm Sandi Craig, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.